Good afternoon. Welcome to our Dell Music Lounge live audience. We have live audiences again. Say hello on the radio.
Amazing.
Our Dell Music Lounge is brought to you by Flying Embers, Toss Pizzeria, and Rambler Sparkling Water. Adam Melchor here is with us this afternoon.
Hello, hello.
Plays Antones this evening. Abraham Alexander shares that bill tonight. And we haven't seen you since, what, December of 2019?
Yeah.
At our Starry Night. You have played this room before, but
It's been way too long.
it has been a while.
Yeah. It's good to look into your eyes again in real
Thank
life.
you.
not just your Twitter eyes, you know. It's very
Yes.
nice. So. Yeah,
These
thank you for
are-
having me.
Well,
they're beautiful.
I hope I haven't disappointed you.
No, it's
Okay.
How could you? Never. Never.
Okay. We'll do more of this kind of thing in a minute. But first, live in our Dell Music Lounge, welcome back Adam Melchor.
There are times when it feels right to run away, run away. When you ask the same old questions every day, every day. Why do I set the stage? Why do I find my place on the pedestal? Why am I dancing away from what I'm supposed to say and pretend it's still best that you don't know? It's best that you don't. I'll just wait in the wings, 'cause I don't wanna bring it to light that the fact is I'm losing my mind. Whoa, where do I go now? I feel so alone. I'm a light year away from the best days in my life. I sweep feelings under the rug, my own way, my own way. I act like nothing is going wrong, and I'm okay. I'm okay, I'm okay. Why do I set the stage? Why do I find my place on the pedestal? Why am I dancing away from what I'm supposed to say and pretend it's still best that you don't know? It's best that you don't. I'll just wait in the wings, 'cause I don't want to bring it to light. But the fact is I'm losing my mind. Whoa, where do I go now? I feel so alone. I'm a light year away from the best days of my life. I'm a light year away. Light year away, you. Whoa, where do I go now? I feel so alone. I'm a light year away.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Adam Melchor. Thank you guys so much for having me, for being here. This is amazing. It's good to play in front of human faces again, and not just my iPhone. Or my roommate. He's so sick of me. So he's happy to have me out of the house for a little bit. This next song is a song called Real Estate. I wrote this about driving across the country. I live in Los Angeles now, and I'm from New Jersey, and I drove across the country. It took me about a week, not a lot of sleep, but I sort of wrote this on the way about just not knowing, where things are going to be at, when I go back home, and all that stuff. So this is a song called Real Estate, and yeah, this is how it goes.
I still find your hair in my bed, in my clothes, in my mouth, in my nose, oh no. If you'll still be there when it's all said and done, or if I'll just find less from now on. Every time I wonder how I'd carry on without you. I'm running out of real estate, trying to make all the right moves. I don't wanna hesitate, I would bet the house on you. I still have no windows in my room or my halls. I was hoping I could look through yours. Sitting in a chair next to your front door, as I watch you do your makeup on the floor. Every time I wonder how I'd carry on without you. I'm running out of real estate, trying to make all the right moves. I don't wanna hesitate, I would bet the house on you. I'm running out of real estate, trying to make all the right moves. I don't wanna hesitate, I would bet the house on you. I'm running out of real estate, trying to make all the right moves. I don't wanna hesitate, I would bet the house on you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Adam Melchor live in our Dell Music Lounge. A few moments ago, before the audience came in, you and I were talking about the tremendous pressure that Adele must feel.
Yes.
That despite living the life of Adele, putting this record out, as she did today, just every single move in that puzzle matters because the stakes are so high. You, on the other hand,
The stakes are real low.
have released 18 songs in a little over a year.
Yes. Yeah.
You're doing the opposite. You're not overthinking everything. Is that by design? I mean, at this point, there was a pandemic, obviously, that made that a necessity. But you could have thrown out a song here, waited the 6 months, put out another song.
Yeah.
You just gave it to the people.
Yeah, I think the thought behind that is I'm lucky enough to do it, pre-pandemic, and also I was very lucky to do it during the pandemic, and hopefully post-pandemic too. But I think that a lot of my my world in Los Angeles is writing songs, for myself obviously, but for other people as well. And I was just sort of sitting on like a bunch of songs that like sort of felt okay, And then I was like, how do I make these like songs that I would want to show people? And as I was doing that, I was like, well, I have this thing where I was sending songs out every week, on the Lullaby hotline and whatnot. And I was
They
like,
were texting.
Texting a number, and I would send a song in any condition. That was the truest, like,
Right.
If anything, these are like way more polished, the ones on Spotify now. But I think that the idea of putting out a lot of music for somebody who is just starting out, and I'm, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I am just starting out, so I wanted to just get as much of like my expression out into the public as possible, just because I wanted to just see what people thought, and also it was cathartic for me, and I know that it was definitely wound up being like a two-way street, cathartic for other people as well, so I think in terms of like overthinking everything, sure, I could have probably put like one or two of those songs out, but you never know like what could happen, when you do. And also it gave me like just something to look forward to, honestly, because I know a lot of friends who sat on a lot of music, and then, when things started opening up again, they're like, oh, well, I don't even know if I'm the same person who I was, 3 months ago, let alone like, 10 months ago, or, longer than that. So I feel lucky, to be able to put music out regularly. And I was just like, I might as well just, try to do it. So once I'm, a Dell level, I will absolutely think of everything. You will never be hearing from me again. Every 5 years, I might put out a snippet, so, but I'll just be enjoying my life in Fiji somewhere, so.
One of the things that's also different about you, in my experience, is that the times I've seen you live, audiences, and they're not even your audiences because you've been an opening act, audiences are ridiculously super quiet, listening to every word, and it would seem like it might even, they're so quiet and so into it that it might be hard to figure out what works and what doesn't, because on some level it's all working. So, and it's working in a weird way because they're not, going nuts throughout. They're just sitting there quietly listening, which is must be a really cool thing for you, but also I wonder if it's hard to figure out what's working.
It's funny enough. We've been on tour now for about, like I was telling you, since like the first week of October essentially, and like the one comment that we've gotten from like most of the venues is like, wow, your audience is like so quiet, but they're also so clean. Like we don't even have to clean these venues up afterwards, It's amazing. Everyone's throwing their drinks out, all this stuff. It's just like, it's crazy. So somehow I've garnered like maybe the most polite crowd of all time, wholesome and polite, So.
What do you think they're connecting to? I mean, I can't figure out why you're the guy that has the...
I don't know. I think that there's, not that there's like, I think I'm like, that's a good question, because a lot of my, like the biology of my project is very much, not reinventing the wheel. It's, obviously, as I'm standing here, very like white guy with acoustic guitar, and that is, it's done plenty of times before. But I think that there's I try to like talk about things that are real to me, and I guess I have lived like a lot of life, just like growing up in just like a very strange situations and stuff, and playing and just navigating through these things, and honestly doing a lot of traveling, so I think I've seen like a lot of like what could relate to people, but then also using words that like people wouldn't normally hear. And I think that in terms of my music, having a sort of a platform like even just like Spotify, and now, sort of going in, and after working with like a record label, they only just want me to keep doing what I'm doing, which is just being like, crazy wholesome, say all the weird words you want. It's okay if you curse now, you know, it's like, it's good, you know, so it's very strange, but
It's not okay here, by the way.
it's not okay here. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd get ahead of that.
Those last 2 songs were riddled with the F word and I took them all out. I can't on the spot. Yeah. But yeah, I think, I'm not really sure. You know, I think it's a lot of people who are like relate to lyrics. I think I'm a very lyrics person first, you know, and then the songs afterwards. And, I like heavily vet myself, you know, if it's like interrogation, like what would work, you know, live and stuff. And I think from playing at a bunch of like bars and restaurants, I would try like my songs there at those places. And like, there was some times where I'd be like, this is going to be the best song ever. Like I absolutely crushed it. And you strum the first chord and you're like, the bridge isn't going to work. Like I have to rewrite this whole thing, you know? And I think that just that experience alone, I think it's like really the human connection that, you know, like is able for me to know at least when the song is really great versus when it's like just okay. So, you know, I only, as much as songs as I put out, you know, 18 songs, which is crazy to me to think. I didn't even like realize, you know, there's probably like 92 more songs that were just terrible that I didn't put out, you know. So I'm only giving you guys the good things for now. Maybe once I hit my Adele period, I'll really test you guys out and just put just terrible songs out. But yeah.
But for 2 years, my guess is you were thinking, what would it be like to be back in front of
100%.
people? And now you're back in front of people. Mm-hmm. What's been the surprise there? What didn't you expect in all that time that you were thinking about being in front of people again?
I think that people genuinely really like to hear the slower songs. Like in my fan base, like I've definitely like put out, you know, more like up-tempo things and whatnot, but you know, we play them, you know, for like the beginning of the set, get people, but like it's really the ones that are like really connecting are the ones that are like a little bit slower and like at the end, you know, and we'll just play like all these songs that you can sort of sway to and like hold the person you love to, and it's kind of fun to see that like reaction and see how it like navigates. But as you can tell, like I really love like telling stories as well, so a lot of times the stories that I tell before the songs are longer than the actual songs I play. So it's almost like doing a comedy set, but then in between I play songs, you know, so
that's who else does that? Adele. I got to get her on the phone. I should open for her. My goodness. But yeah, but I do think that I remember reading or hearing a Phoebe Bridgers interview, and she mentioned that usually like the funniest part of the session, usually the joke of the session is the best lyric. And I do think like an element of sad songs have to be sort of humorous because it's just sort of like this, you know, if it's too on the nose and too like woe is me, then it gets like very like, okay, like where's the angle here? Why am I listening to this if I'm just, you know, sort of sucked into this person's sadness? Where, you know, I was for a lot of even that song Real Estate just playing just like how can I make like the most probably unemotional concept like something that like actually feels like human, you know? So yeah, it's just a lot of weird things. I just try to formulate together and see what happens. All right, he is Adam Melchor. You'll find him this evening at Antone's and again here right now in our Dell Music Lounge.
I'm not gonna make this easy. Here comes a goodbye. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. Take a bath in all the sorrow and enjoy the sights. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. I'm taking a picture of this in the back of my mind. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. I know when I really need to I can close my eyes. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. You promised me each time you leave you haven't seen the last of me. It's just I never have enough of you. Feed me any lies. Just tell me this won't be the last time. I remember the way you look at all the gates you've been assigned. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. Just let me know when you land, only then I'll be fine. 'Cause every time I go I'm scared it's gonna be the last time. Oh, you promised me each time you leave you haven't seen the last of me. It's just I never have enough of you. Feed me any lie. Just tell me this won't be the last time. This won't be the last time. One day we're gonna look back, laugh at how much we cried. 'Cause every time I left I thought that it would be the last time.
Thank you guys, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This next song is called Joyride. I wrote this about my parents, actually. When I was like really young, until now too. I mean, they've always been the same, but they are very loose about like a lot of things. Like it was always like, just get home before dark, and then like I could have just like come home like 2 weeks later, and they would be like, "Oh, sick, you're here again. Wow." Where were you? You know, it's not really too worried about anything. And like the first time I like really saw that in my life, I was about like 5 years old or 6 years old. It was one of like my first memories. And we always had this like truck in our driveway, and one day it never moved in my whole life. Like it was just this red truck that was always there. I don't know, like I never saw anybody go in the car, out of the car, anything. It's just like collecting dust. And one day it was gone, and I was like, oh cool, like my parents got rid of it. Like I was I was like, very good, like they're proactive, being good adults or whatever. So I walked downstairs, and they're both sort of just like looking out the window, just like kind of confused, like at the driveway. And I was like, oh, you guys got rid of the car, this is amazing. And they were like, yeah, actually, like someone stole it. And I was like, oh, that's terrible news. And they're like, oh, it didn't really run, we kind of took it off our hands. And I was like, I just got here like 6 years ago, I know, but like even I see this as like a kind of a red flag, like maybe just like a little more urgency here, like would be welcomed, So they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, if anything, like they're probably, sort of broken down on the highway already. I'm sure they didn't get too far, So my dad, it's like, well, let's just, make some breakfast and get you to school and all this stuff. So, about an hour later, we get a knock on the door, and it's like a police officer I see like with a tow truck, bringing the truck back in. And, they knock on the door, and they're like, Mr. Melchor, like, this is your truck. Like, we're going to put it back in the driveway. Someone stole it, but it just abandoned. We couldn't find him. And we're just going to leave it here for you. And he goes, like, do we have to? And the police officer was like, absolutely. It's 100% your car, so you have to take it. It's just the law, So they got rid of it like about a week later, and I think that really always stuck in my brain. And so, so years later, I was about like 15 or 16, and they split up, but they were very like chill about it, and it was very like like for like we love you guys, but like it's just not working out between us. So like we're gonna be happier other places. And I think us growing up, it was easy on me and my sister to just be like, okay, like we trust them, like they've always been like very loose, and if this is how these things work, this is cool. So, I basically was just trying to like find, just like a way to think about, them getting divorced with this car, and just thinking that like, maybe letting go really isn't so bad. And, now they're with like people that they love so much. And like, I basically have 2 extra parents, which is great, who are also very loose about things too. I guess they say opposites attract, but I guess they don't. In some cases. But yeah, this is a song about that, and it's about a car getting stolen from a driveway, and also my parents, being whatever. So I don't know. It's all. Who knows what songs are really about anyway? So this is a song called Joyride. Thank you guys.
Someone stole the Chevy from the driveway. I bet you would've let it go for free. They said they wouldn't make it to the highway, let alone to the end of the street. The title still signed under our name. The registration's been out of date for weeks. If the cops didn't already find them, they're probably breaking down as we speak. I think we're better off without it. One day we will laugh about this. Might have left the windows cracked, might have left the keys on the dash. I'm not even mad about it. We know we're gonna live without it. Wish we took it for a joyride before the joy died. I could go and buy a motorcycle with a sissy bar to set you on the back. But every mile feels like survival when you're always so afraid you're gonna crash. I'm sure that after just a little while, we both decide that we should take it back. I'm pulling on the throttle with white knuckles. Oh honey, we're just not cut out for that. Maybe letting go isn't so bad. I think we're better off without it. One day we will laugh about this. Might have left the windows cracked, might have left the keys on the dash. I'm not even mad about it. We know we're gonna live without it. Wish we took it for a joyride before the joy died. Things were going our way, but they kept going till they were gone. Think we're better off without it. One day we will laugh about this. Might have left the windows cracked, might have left the keys on the dash. I'm not even mad about it. We know we're gonna live without it. Wish we took it for a joyride before the joy died. Wish we took it for a joyride before the joy died.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Adam Melchor live on Austin City Limits Radio. My favorite part about what just happened is I've heard that story 4 different times. No, and it gets better each time because you've clearly perfected it across the road.
Maybe I've just processed my parents splitting up more.
Yeah.
So.
And then this time at the end, after you broke down every line of the song and told us what it was about, you said, I don't know what song. Maybe songs are, who knows what songs are about, which was the best part.
Yes.
So
I'd be a very bad college professor. This is exactly what the test is on, and who knows if it's even going to count.
Exactly. Adele knows.
Adele knows. Yeah.
All right. Thank you again.